What's up, y'all? Derek here. I'm on the KLR 650 today at beautiful El Dorado Outpost, riding with Dalton and some new buddies, Luke and Kevin. Kevin's got the KLX 300. Luke's on the DRZ 400. We're gonna do some pavement and some dirt roads today. With the feet up crew. Should be a pretty awesome ride. So my game plan today, it's a 100-mile loop, right? And it took me 70 miles to get here. It's gonna be 70 miles back, so I should hit 600 miles today. So the break-in will finally be over. I can do the first oil change and all that. So that's nice. Ready to get over with the break-in period. But it's been a cold and wet winter, so haven't had much opportunity to ride. I said it's been a cold and wet winter, but today is like 70 degrees or something, so it's like a perfect day to go riding. Once we get to a little break, I'll have to show you guys Kevin's KLX 300 because he's done some pretty cool mods to it. He was actually able to mount FMF pipe to it, which has been a struggle for most KLX owners. Everyone's going with the Yoshi pipe. Kevin got a FMF on there, so I'll have to show you guys that here. Do a little sound test for you. All right, hit some gravel already. Always hate being in the back on a gravel road. Oh, yeah, that one hit hard. Yeah, today's ride was just insanely dusty. Every little piece of the motorcycle and my camera equipment and all that was just completely covered with layers of dust and dirt. And so we're headed to this little lake spot that I've been to before, but I've never gotten it on video. I mentioned camping here, and everyone told me like this spot fills up so quick, like I don't really have a chance. I came up on my first kind of test for the KLR 650. This part right here would be normally no big deal on a littler bike like the KLX 300, but I don't really know what the KLR is capable of yet, so this was a little intimidating, but went down it and got up no problem. Oh yeah. I'd like to take this thing where maybe a normal KLR 650 rider would not take their motorcycle, but you know, these things have been all over the world. Now that we got pulled over here, I asked Kevin to do a little sound test for you guys. If you're a KLX 300 owner, this is what the FMF Q4 sounds like. It sounded a lot louder on the phone microphone, but I'm going to be installing it on my KLX 300, and I'm going to do some decibel meter testing, so we'll see how loud it really is. So we quickly decided already to abandon the loop, just to check out some other little locations around here. Looking for possible camping locations and stuff like that. So I don't know that we're going to do the 100-mile loop. I don't know where we're going to go today. But that's the beauty of dual sporting, right? Figure it out as you go. So the KLR is doing a pretty good job keeping up with the smaller bikes. Like, you know, obviously there's limitations. And obviously these guys aren't doing anything too tricky or difficult today. Dalton just busting out some power wheelies. But yeah, I am still really enjoying the KLR 650. No regrets yet. Can't wait to get this thing out camping. The 70 miles of highway I did here today were as far as the KLR goes, you know, she handled it pretty fine. I like to keep it at around 75. Like, that just feels where she's like in the pocket, just cruising, you know. 75 miles an hour on the highway feels just fine. Anything above that, you can kind of hear it starting to like fight or struggle. So other than that though, like the windshield though is the biggest problem for me. It was an hour and 30 minutes of pavement down here, and after, you know, like half the ride, I was getting beat up so bad I was starting to develop a pretty good headache, just from all the buffeting and wind noise. Just, you know, I'm sure my height doesn't help. And then, you know, I have a relatively cheap helmet. You guys know, if you don't know anyway, the MSR Adventure helmet, it's like sub $200. Like, what do you expect? But with all three of those factors, the windshield, my height, and the MSR helmet, like, I just have to make a change. So probably the very next thing I'm going to do is mount that windshield riser from 3D Cycle Parts. And YouTuber Taiwan On was telling me that he mounted the same thing to his bike, the V-Stream Mid windshield, which I have on now, and the risers, and it cut down, you know, on almost everything. So we're on the right track. We just got to get the right things mounted, and then this thing's going to be just so comfortable for long hauls. Like, I had no problems at all riding this thing an hour and a half on the highway besides the windshield. So it's gonna be awesome. Like, it's just gonna be a great year for motorcycling. So I just can't wait. And it's 70 degrees today for some reason, right? It's still February, but it's 70 degrees. Last weekend I was riding through snow and ice, so it's like, come on, let's just fast forward through the rest of winter, get this started. It's gonna be a good year. You know, when I was a teenager, I was ripping wheelies on a road like this and looped it, and I was picking gravel out of my arm for like weeks. That was a little flashback I just had from watching Dalton bust some wheelies here. Yeah, when I was a teenager, I had an RM125. My buddy Josh had a KX125, and then we rode with a guy Michael who rode I think it was an XR80. And man, we just had a blast riding through our little neck of the woods, on and off road, kind of racing hell. It sounds crazy to say, but even back then, there was not really any social media. So, like, all this stuff we were doing, thank goodness, is not recorded, just, you know, recorded in our memories. Because we did some crazy stuff back then. Good times, good times. Yeah, I remember my arm was so scarred up at one point that I couldn't even bend it. That's how much road rash and gravel was coming out of my arm. Speaking of two strokes, like the RM125 and the KX125 my buddy used to ride, Kawasaki announced they're dropping a two-stroke. So, like, that's awesome. And Kawasaki, if you ever watch this video, please hit me up, because I'd love to put it to the test. You know, I already have two Kawasaki motorcycles, the KLX 300 and the KLR 650. So, you guys, I need a two-stroke. I need a two-stroke. Kawasaki, if you're listening, hit me up. We're back on the road, just cruising, having a good time. I think my other buddy Luke said last weekend, the KLR is like the Harley Davidson of dual sports, with, like, you know, the windshield and the fairings and all that. I guess that's pretty accurate. Pretty accurate.
I dusted off my side view mirror here so you guys could get a look at Dalton. Dalton was joking around with me earlier that he's normally so far out ahead of me that he never makes it into the videos anyway. So there you go. Here's a quick shot of him. Then I kick a foot up here to really test out the comfortability of the KLR while cruising, and all of a sudden Dalton runs up on my left with both his feet up. So
with the feet up crew.
Oh yeah, man, feedback. This thing's crushing highway miles this summer. And there you go. There's your shot of Dalton. You may never see him again. Then we took these things off-road, and like I said earlier in the video, I really want to do some kind of dumb things on the KLR 650. Like, I'm not scared to get it scratched up and beaten up and all that. So, you know, if the little bikes are going to go there, I'm going to try to go there too. And so we had a great time goofing around out here. But as soon as Dalton got to this rock face, I decided to skip on that, which turned out to be a better idea for me.
Oh, stalled her.
Which you'll see here in just a minute. Tight squeeze through the trees. Back down to the little main path. Had to grab a shot of Kevin too on the KLX 300. You know those things are always looking good. And Dalton messed up his shift lever here going over that rock face. So, you know, I'm kind of glad I didn't do it. But we did a little trailside repair, hit the road, chugged a beer, ate a pizza, and called it a day. So thanks so much for watching. If you're interested in this type of content, the KLR 650 or the KLX 300, please subscribe. It helps my channel out a ton. I thank you so much for watching again. I'll catch you on the next one.